Hey, let's get into the stream. Okay, this is. Let's have a chat. It has been a crazy week, honestly, until I actually came to prep for this live stream and be like, man, let's review what this week has been for me, and then just going over my project gallery over here. I'll show you it. This is a project gallery of all the stuff that I did in the week, in terms of every different area of my life. The stuff I watched, places I went, all the work that I'm doing for life game design in general, and far out. Until today, I've really underestimated how good the week has been. To be honest, and this is a theme that always happens. I always underestimate one, how much I got done, and two, how amazing it has been, even though it's been in the scope of thing, it's been pretty standard in terms of my whole life. But fuck yeah, it's been a good week. Okay, let's dive into it. Basically, I do these reflections every single week, and I base it off my octacore framework, which is also called Special, but I don't want to get fucked up by Todd Howard. So it's all the different areas of life that we can find fulfillment in, but it also works as a database system to categorize literally all the information and stuff that you have in your life. And it also lets you understand the trade offs and how fulfilled you would be based on putting effort and energy into these areas of life. Honestly, I spent 5 years developing this shit, and now it's become a way for me to do everything. Understand, organize, and optimize every area of my life and use it as a framework for navigating life itself. Anyways, let's get into the week and you'll understand what each of these areas are kind of intuitively as we go through it. But just to kind of give a little context to it, strength is about your physical health and training. It says it over here. If you find the template yourself, you'll see these descriptions. Persistence is what people put in a life bucket called personal. And I hate that because they put their stuff that they like doing in personal as well. And honestly, personal is such a stupid word. Like, everything is personal to you. Come on, man. Experience is about the enjoyment of life, so activities, hanging out with friends, all that kind of stuff. Creativity is any creative expression that you have. Contribution is work and charity included. Intelligence is about learning, finance, and planning. Attachment is about close relationships. And finally, life force is about mental health. And honestly, if I made this system simpler, it wouldn't help. It legit would not help in terms of trying to organize the mess that is our lives. That is what I've been trying to do for the last 5 years in terms of finding a system to organize life without it being too complicated, but also not being too simple that you have to overcomplicate stuff after you simplify it. Doesn't work like that. Now, let's get into this week's review because it has been mad. Anyways, this is my app called Life Game Design. And Life Game Design is a philosophy and set of actionable frameworks to design a fulfilling life, basically. It's kind of stepping away from what I call cringification in terms of like turning your life into a game by forcing it to be a game by like, oh, I need this like XP living system and algorithm and skill tree and all this bullshit that doesn't actually work when that's the thing. It doesn't work if you try and force life to be a game. Life is already a game. We need to design it like the unique game it is. And the way that you do that, the first part of game design is the first part of turning your life into a game is playing the things that interest you. Because coming from a background, let's have a chat. Coming from a background of game addiction, I would never be addicted to a game that I didn't enjoy or didn't find fulfillment in. And it's not that even the games that I did play, it's not that I was having fun, as what people think is like gamifying your life means that, oh, everything in your life must be fun if that's what gamifying your life means. No. Man, we played like League of Legends. We played Demon Souls. We played Dark Souls. All those kind of games. Those games are not fun. Look at the people who play those games. They are not having fun. But they are hustling. They put so much effort and time into what they do. And it's because they have found, well, it's because game designers have made the process of playing the game fulfilling. And so if we want to design our lives like a game, first we have to find out what is actually fulfilling to us. And a lot of the times, the things that are fulfilling to us aren't quote unquote fun. Me building this app and spending, God, hundreds of hours clicking at these little things and making all these different databases, that is not fun. But having completed it, seeing my progress towards completing it, that part, seeing that tangible progress is fun. And seeing what ends up being the result of this over here, all of my achievements throughout every different area of life being shown to me and reinforced, instead of like a normal project manager where it's like, okay, you've done the next thing, you've done the thing that you were supposed to do, that sprint, okay, ignore that, you got another sprint to do, and we don't give a fuck about any of your past achievements. You have work to do, and you just have to keep on basically climbing that mountain without ever taking the time to look back at what you've done and appreciate it. And that is the mindset shift I want to encourage. That is the mindset shift that I feel is really bringing a large detriment to society, in the fact that people are going through burnout, through purposelessness, because we are treating lives like a business instead of a game. Because in life, a lot of the things that are enjoyable in life aren't to do with business metrics of success, like how many books you've read or how much revenue you've generated. It's about what fulfills you. It's about finding the things that have been fulfilling to you. And those things are probably not going to be instant gratification and cheap dopamine sort of things. Those are going to be things that you worked hard for. Whether it's in a more experiential life sense where climbing a mountain or climbing up to the view of a mountain, it's not an easy thing to do. Hiking up for 2 hours straight, but it was incredibly fulfilling. And that's the reason why gamers like myself previously got addicted to these things, because game designers know this shit like the back of their hand. They understand fulfillment at such a deep level that they will make gamers do these ridiculously frustrating tasks for hours on end. And if we capture that, if we capture the understanding of what they're doing and apply it into our own life, then we have the ability to grind and do things that are fulfilling to us and make it feel like we're not just working for a corporate business. Make it feel like our life is a game. So one of the biggest ways that I do that is through these weekly reflections where I just give myself credit and appreciate all the things that have happened, that I've worked towards, and make a plan for what I want to move forward onto. All right. So, the first thing, kicking off the week, I gave myself a day off from working on the app. At the moment, I've quit my job, living off pocket of my savings to bring this to the world. And one thing I really like doing is hiking, and especially hiking for a good view. And I got 2 of those. So the first was, I don't know why this is opposite. I want to remove the sorting, but okay, sweet. So we got that. Hiking up to like one of the most iconic picture places for Mount Taranaki. It's a 2-hour incline hike to get here, and it was absolutely insane. I remember for the first hour and a half, it's a constant incline up the forest, and I was convincing myself to turn back and to quit the whole time, because it was a little bit late as well. And I just like listened to a podcast, and then after that, my headphones were too hot in the sun while walking, so I couldn't do that. So I literally just had to focus on my breath and just tell myself to keep on going. But then as I slowed my pace, I was able to actually enjoy what I was looking at. So honestly, that experience of going through that and seeing the mountain, like climbing up the ridge to see this on the other side of the ridge, was absolutely insane. What I'm gonna do here is just put these into this over here, which kind of shows me, yeah, all of the events that happened. A way for me to collate all that stuff into each category that is safe here. And yeah, so stuff that you do for leisure is all experience, and it's a really important part of the elevating areas of life. So, and then again, Dr. Stone, oh my god, season 3, that was sick, actually. Honestly, Dr. Stone's gotten to the point where, like, at the start, they were doing these really cool, like, science experiments that could, like, almost pass off as, like, real, in terms of, like, bringing humanity back from the Stone Age into the modern era by using science. But man's like flying a remote controlled drone with like bamboo sticks and shit. And this, like, honestly, it's so far fetched, but the story itself is so cool that I don't even care anymore. I don't even care how wacky it is in terms of them like using science to achieve all the things that they want, like making a car from scratch by like making an engine and wheels and stuff. Honestly, it's so out of whack. Um, and then yeah, the achievement that I did on Monday as well was just planning for the week. It's like actually just sitting down and be like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Basically, it's a key principle from the book Essentialism by Greg McKeown, and one of the most productive things you could ever do is what I learned from his book, is that literally just the art of planning out the most essential things that you have to do within the week, within the month, within the year, that itself is more productive than just going forth and trying to brute force your way into productivity. Because you'll make progress of like 100 meters in the wrong direction. And once you do that, you're going to have to go all the way back to the start and then try and pivot your way to the next point of achievement that you want. And so honestly, I think I have to reread that book because it's such a simple principle, but especially in the age of today where there is so much opportunity and so many things that you could possibly do, we need it now more than ever. So yeah, planning every week, planning the week every week is going to be a big achievement for me every time, and it allowed me to get so much done. Apart from like planning my days off, and then planning what I was going to do on my days off, planning my meal prep for the week, planning out what work I wanted to get done, and all that kind of stuff. It really, honestly, I guess that's what made this week such a good week. I'll be straight. And so in terms of the progress on the app, because that's the number one thing that I'm working on, I got the year and season views done, and I also got the hub views. I'll show you what that looks like and what that even means on the app over here. So I've been basically polishing up how I use it myself and transferring it to an app that everyone can use. So what I call the hub views are basically the areas, projects, tasks, and notes that we all have. And these are views that you can use to organize all that stuff. So there is the kind of set life buckets of octa-core or special that are here for you, but within each of those you're going to have different areas of life. And so instead of other Notion templates that will show you, they're going to show you like, oh, this is your areas tab, and you're just going to end up filling it up with 20 different areas of life that you have, and then there's no way for you to separate each of those areas out. So let's say you're really into your physical health and you're learning about nasal breathing, you're learning about doing hanging, you're learning about different diets and training programs, and then you're really into something like uh, books or psychology, and you're learning all these different concepts and putting them into areas, and all of a sudden you have all of these things, you have all of these different areas all at once, and now there's no way for you to look at them all in one space where they all relate to each other. That is exactly the reason why I use special. Because imagine if I gave you the best ingredients in the world, and let's say those ingredients are the best Notion template that you could possibly have. If I gave you the best ingredients in the world, but I didn't give you a recipe and expected you to create something amazing, you would fuck it up. And I've seen that from my experience as a chef. If you don't have a recipe, if you don't have a framework to organize the ingredients, then whatever you make won't be as good as it could be. And you'll probably make mistakes, and you'll just ruin the ingredients and put them to waste in the first place. So special is the system that I use to, like I said, understand, organize, and optimize all the areas of life and categorize all the areas of life. So you can see it in the main areas I use here. So in terms of experience, I've got relationships, travel, entertainment, and in creativity, I've got life game design, the victim's perspective, modern mythology. I don't know what fulfillment board template. That was a video that I did. And in intelligence, I've got all these different areas. In terms of video editing, different things are categorized, so I don't have to see them all in one big ugly clump, basically. So that's in terms of the hub views, which is, yeah, all these. So it's the same with projects. You got that over here where you can see the focus projects that you've got on. This is it for me. Basically everything to do with launching the full version of Life Game Design. The active projects, you can see everything that you've got going, and especially recent achievements. So all the stuff that you did within the last 2 weeks, and it shows you that. And it also shows you a really cool, like, vision board-esque kind of thing, where it shows you the pictures of all the stuff that you've done, which I think is really cool. And then, yeah, the same with tasks. You can see all the tasks that you got, focus tasks as well. And notes over here. You can see all the notes that you've taken, all the recent ones. Let's load it up. There we go. So you can see the cover, or you can see the contents of the page for my physio thing, all that stuff there. And yeah, so that's the hub views. And then the year and season views, we can go into there, navigating from this really easily. We can look at everything we've got going on this year. And so basically it's broken down into all years, this year, and then the seasons. The seasons are like the quarters. So basically you can see a wide array of everything you've done in every area of your life in every year of your life. Basically like this, you've got this board of, this is all the areas in special. So these are all the things that I did in terms of experience, all the shows I watched, all the places I went to, on this like vision board kind of thing. And see all the stuff that I did within 2024, and then take it back, go to 2023, which was honestly one of the best years of my life. And yeah, it just lets you appreciate all the stuff that you got done by naturally putting it into your project manager. Because that's the thing, I don't want to have to put in all my projects and then go in again and be like, oh yeah, so this year I did this and that and that. No, it's all in one. So as soon as you complete a project and you set a date for it, you set it to achieve, it will show up here. So at the end of the year, instead of taking the time to write down your yearly reflection and shit like that, it's there for you already. This is why I built this. This is why I built this for myself, because I wanted to do this. I love doing yearly reflections, but I hate, one, having to separate that from all the stuff that I've done already. This is it. This is how you get that shit done. Let me brighten up my face. It's so dark. It's alright. It's alright. You can hear me. We good. So, God, where was I? What a tangent. Okay. Yeah, I was just going down the list. So, yeah, I made so much progress uh on the app because I was working with Joseph. I'll put that in there because I think yeah, at the end of the week I put that in. Deep work with Joseph. Um we did a 2 hour session, but every day of the week. Joseph is one of my closest friends who I do these deep work sessions with, and he's over in Japan, so we can't do them really together. We find the time zone how it fits. But honestly, we hype each other up so much. He's building his app, I'm building my app, and the trajectory for our launch dates and everything like that has been so in tune. And all the problems that we run into and stuff like that also hella in tune. I'm gonna put in my meal preps that I did for this week because honestly, it has made this week so easy in terms of getting my work done, like speed running, doing my meal prep, and just having that set and not having to worry about what I'm gonna cook every single day. Such a good life hack to make everything else easier. And that's the point of the special system. Like all of these areas of life interact with each other and have elevating effects to each other. So if you work on your persistence, if you work on your lifestyle routines and things like that, it makes everything else easier. And that's the whole point, is logging these down and understanding how much of an impact doing something like meal prep will have on the rest of your week. And what else happened? I started watching Blue Lock, and I think I finished the first season, which was absolutely insane. Blue Lock, I I haven't really watched much sports anime, but man, that was insane. I got so hyped over a fucking soccer game when I never thought I would be. Yeah, I just fucking love that shit. Blue Lock is goated. Then I watched Diary of a CEO with Dr. Neil Barnard. He's a uh, plant-based dietitian, one of the most knowledgeable ones. But his knowledge is insane, but it's about how you communicate information that really helps people understand things. And I don't really like how he communicated, um, making these claims about uh, making very legible evidence-based proof on plant-based diets, but he was really talking about whole food plant-based diets, whereas people think plant-based diets is either eating like literal like grass and salad, or they think it's eating only ultra processed like Beyond Meat and stuff, and apparently there's no in between. And he didn't really make that distinction between what a whole foods plant-based diet is and what people think a vegan diet is. So I wish he did that, but other than that, was amazing. I can't believe he was on Diary of a CEO because Stephen Bartlett fucking hates vegans. It's hilarious. So when I saw that, I was like, what the fuck is he doing on that show? And the next podcast I watched was Joe Dispenza on Modern Wisdom. Joe Dispenza, he has a cornerstone book in my system called, well, cornerstone books are the books that will teach you everything about these different areas of life. And in terms of life force, in terms of the placebo effect specifically, in terms of healing your body with your mind, he gives the best book I have read on that topic in terms of turning all this ooh-woo bullshit practices of spirituality and making them into understandable, concrete, and evidence-based practices that you can use. And yeah, listening to his podcast again made me realize, like, man, there's a lot of work I need to do in terms of basically regulating my own body in terms of my sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Basically, all healing is done when you are in a parasympathetic state, meaning when you are in a relaxed state of body and mind. And so when you are someone who is always in a hyper-regulated state of mind and body, it's going to be extremely difficult for you to heal. And that And those kind of states can be brought to you by something purely psychological. When you have a traumatic experience and you relive that in your head by things that trigger you, things that cue those feelings of fight or flight, even though you are completely safe, it will mute your ability to be able to heal from even injuries, and it will actually cue your body to create injuries, or more like diseases, that will inhibit you from doing what you want to do, because your subconscious mind feels like if you don't have this disease, then you will be hurt. So in a way, the disease serves you. Anyway, that's a bit of a tangent into the book. If you have dealt with chronic illness or pain and have no other avenue, I think in terms of all the other things that you could do, in terms of like moves of desperation, Joe Dispenza is probably the best person to look up and into. So relating to that, I've had a shoulder injury for a very long time, getting physio for it again, but the first round of physio that I ever did didn't work. Went through 2 physios, reputable physio place. They couldn't understand what was going on. I'm trying it again, see what happens. I feel like I've made a lot more progress in this bout of physio, so let's go. So I did acupuncture again, and I feel like that's helping. And then I just did a 1-hour meditation from Joe Dispenza about just like crushing limiting beliefs and reprogramming how I want to feel on a daily basis. It actually was super calming. I already put that in, and the hub views, I did that. Oh no, I didn't do that. Let's put that in. Hub views was getting actually not that one, the year and season views. This thing that I showed you, so there's like, there is so much to it. So I'll show you what you've got for this year. And basically, it shows you the projects. It gives you a planning page. You've got a page for your tier list of achievements. So the tier list is ranking all of your memories. And this is all the, like, it's a intuitive ranking system, basically. Like, you decide what is diamond, gold, silver, and bronze. And basically everything starts at bronze, and you can be like, okay, this was actually really cool. This is in silver. Something like that was like bouldering, doing bouldering for the first time with my friends, and getting like a temporary tattoo thing that I tried out. And then you got things like, for me, like watching Black Clover, finishing the season of that, and Dr. Stone as well, and a whole bunch of like hiking places. These were like gold. Catching up with my friend Derek, and then diamond was doing the podcasts and stuff like that. So basically, throughout your year, whenever you get the chance, or whenever you want to reflect on the year, at any stage of it, you can like rank all of these things, all these projects that you've already put into the system. And then it just shows you, man, like all the amazing things that you've done. Because I know previously for me and all the friends that I show this to, they don't give themselves the credit for all the amazing things that they've done. And this is my way of systemizing and encouraging them to do that. Because if you find the things that you're really passionate about, you're so much less likely to watch things that numb you. So like watching anime isn't, I would say the general act of watching anime isn't productive, but if you watch something that truly inspires you, like you have no idea how much gym hype music is in Black Clover that has gotten me some mad PRs. So, and it just gives me energy in general, because before ranking everything that I watched, before actually being intentional with the things that I watched, I would just watch anything to numb my mind from the fact that my life wasn't designed in a fulfilling way. Until I decided to be like, you know what? If I were to watch anything and put it on this board, I want to see something that inspires me. And Black Clover is it, man. I would rewatch that. I would rewatch that probably. Maybe skip the first season. Maybe skip the first bit where Asta's just like yelling and yelling and yelling. But after that, trust. But it's literally like 40 episodes in, and he stops like, yeah, he stops being so full of himself. But anyways, yeah, that's the this year page, and it's pretty much identical. And you can see your tasks, notes, everything, man. And you see that in all years: season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4. So this took a long time to build out, maybe like two or 3 days. So I'm really proud of getting that done because I will be using this a lot, a lot. And yeah, it means I'm so much closer to releasing the full version of the app, which is like 2 weeks away. Can't believe it, and I can't wait. And then yeah, after that on Sunday, looks like, yeah, on Sunday, did some surfing, and even today. So we went to Stratton Beach. Honestly, that beach, I just don't like rocks. I'm gonna be honest. There was rocks there because I'm learning how to surf again. Actually, this was an attachment thing because it was more about spending time with my dad. But yeah, surfing near rocks, I just think like, bro, wave's gonna crash, I'm gonna flip, gonna hit my head on the rock, I'm gonna die. Like that's what's going through my head when I surf on a beach like that. So I just could not like relax and enjoy it that much. But today in the morning we went to Fitzroy Beach where it's like no rocks, nice and clean. And I literally had the best surf of my life, honestly. I've been getting better. I still need to do tons of work on my paddling, on getting up, on balancing, on riding the wave properly and all that stuff. But man, it was the best I've ever had. Like especially that feeling of going down, going, you can't even see, going down a really steep wave and trying to get up while you're in this point is really hard to balance. But I caught it. It was insane. Instead of just catching like the white water part that you see here, I actually caught the green, which is epic. And I caught it like over and over. And I was only supposed to go for 1 hour, and I was like, I'm gonna go in, and then I caught like the best wave I've ever caught, and I was like, you know what, I might wait a bit, and I kept on waiting, and we were out there for like 2 hours, but I still got enough done for today, so it's cool. And yeah, that was shit. That was my week. What a fucking crazy week. Now I want to go first through the kind of things in my template where I do some deeper reflections on the thing, because all of this is about, you know, highlights, but I also want to reflect on stuff that didn't go quite right. And the first thing that comes to mind last night was that I stayed up too late, scrolling on my phone, because I felt uncomfortable, and I didn't put the things in place to regulate my mood, basically. So when I think about addiction, and when I think about, especially with like scrolling or whatever it is, basically you get uncomfortable, and then your conscious mind goes offline, and your subconscious mind, the only way to feel comfort or distraction from discomfort is to do the thing. And so that's what happened. And I just got in a rut. And now it's telling me that, fuck, I need to understand when that feeling comes. I need to acknowledge that I feel uncomfortable and face it head on. Yeah. Anyways, how well did I stick to my plan and stay focused? Honestly, it was perfect apart from last night. It was absolutely perfect apart from last night. So, really well until last night. What inspired you this week? I'm gonna say the view of Mount Taranaki. It was absolutely insane. What is the number? Oh yeah. So now we go on to realignment. So all of this is about reflection, but what we really want to do, in terms of getting more out of this, is go on to reflection. Let me pick up this thing. Our reflection is about appreciating all the stuff we've done. And then our realignment is realigning us to what do we need to do. So best principle from essentialism is, what is the number one thing I need to get done? And for me, that is the octa-core views of LGD. And I've got that over here. So I'll show you what that looks like. So we go to my main dashboard of the app, and then we go to areas. These are, like you saw in the thing, these are all the different areas. Actually, I can show you from my own thing. I put it up here. Yeah, these are all the different areas, and each of these pages is actually a hub for organizing all the different areas, projects, tasks, and notes within the field of something like strength. Like for me, physical training. So this is unpolished, but I basically set out all the stuff that I want within these different views. But yeah, this is all the projects that I have within strength. These are all the tasks that I have within strength. And these are all the notes that I have within strength. So basically I can put in a whole bunch of research and very granular planning and organization into a specific area of life without me having to see everything else at the same time, which can be really cluttering and really confusing and won't let you focus on what's important, especially for an area of your life that you're focusing on at the moment. So all of these pages are going to be identical in terms of strength. You've got persistence and stuff like contribution, which is work, so you could put all your work projects in here. Keep a catalog of all the places that you worked at, all that kind of stuff. So I'm in the middle of doing all that, and it will take me, God, a few days. It takes so long to do that stuff, just because I have to do this and then copy it 8 times. I have to make sure this is flawless, basically, and then I have to copy it 8 times, and if I make one mistake, then I have to go back. I have to go back for every time that I missed it where I'm up to. So, oh man, it is gonna take a long time. Yeah. Anyways, but it'll be worth it. It will be worth it, I swear. Let's go back to our weekly reflection page to wrap it up. And so, yeah, right after this, I'm gonna do meal prep while it's still light, while I've still got energy. So what specific learning do I need to do for next week's task? Honestly, nothing. I just need to grind. Before, this question was really good for me because there was doing a lot of research on the different areas of special when I was still building out the acronym. There was a lot of specific learning that I needed to do in order to overcome some hurdles. But at this point, I just need to do the work, basically. What is a task that I can do that will make next week less stressful? Time blocking, and I will time block tomorrow. No, wait, I've already done it. Yo, I've already done that shit. I'm gonna say, I already did it. Okay, what is on my not to-do list? Not follow a night routine. Replace this with night routine. Basically, I need to take off screens 2 hours before bed, which is like borderline now. And probably do some stretches before bed, drink some chamomile tea, all that good stuff. Relax my body, turn off my phone, all that good stuff. What am I looking forward to for next week? For this week, actually. Let's see. What did I put up? And let me see my calendar. This is the thing. This is why I need this, because I always forget this shit. Oh, I'm gonna climb Paritutu Rock, and honestly, I'll probably go surfing again. On this day, on Saturday, if I can. So let me put that in there right now. I'll go for a surfing. Oh, and I'll make I'll make some dinner for my parents as well on Sunday. So have some real good food on Sunday, go surfing on Saturday, and climb a rock. That'll be a hell of a day. And honestly, like getting the octa-core view done, core things done. Oh, and getting a podcast. That's it. Getting a podcast done as well. Podcast with my brother-in-law Follow that we recorded ages ago. Um, and yeah, getting that done will be hella fun. Cause that was a mad conversation. Um, so yeah, I kind of just put it in there already. I'm just saying everything, everything. What am I grateful for? Fuck yeah, let's go. What am I grateful for? The surf I had today. My dad being a surfer. Because honestly, I probably would have never picked up surfing if it wasn't for my dad, and especially like him having, God, he's got like 5, 6 plus surfboards that I can just try out and do all that stuff, and yeah, I probably would have never or only experienced it like once in my life if it wasn't for him. So I'm really grateful for my dad and my dad being a surfer. It's so cool. Um, what else? Just being fit and healthy. Mm, and enjoying the process. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Okay, that pretty much wraps it up, and I've got to go do some meal prep, and that's it. That's it. How am I gonna wrap this up? How am I gonna wrap this up? I guess the only wish is that instead of looking at life like a business, you design your life like a game. Because life is so much more like a game than it is a business. And no one wants to work for the rest of their life, feeling like they're working for the CEO who only cares about metrics and all this bullshit. And instead, we can find things that are truly fulfilling to us and be addicted to that instead of games, unless games are something that you're truly passionate about and not doing as something to escape life. Or you play games that really fucking hype you up. Who knows? I can't tell you what that is. You have to figure that out for yourself. Peace.